Good morning, G2 Nation. Welcome to Storytime Friday. Storytime Friday. Today we talk about a funny little miscommunication. Many of you that are married understand these things happen all the time. Surprisingly enough, this is not between me and my wife, but between me and Joe. Guy that does machining for me, one of the machine shops. And it has to do with the brass elites that you have seen released and will be releasing here, just whenever I get to them. It's a small run, so don't get your hopes up. Anyways, actually, here, I got one. It just so happens to be in my car. So we're gonna be talking about these, and if you can see the little groove around the spike, I don't know, nobody from the first batch of these mentioned anything, but I'm sure somebody will eventually notice. But anyways, I'm on the phone asking him, hey, what's the deal with this order? You know, you gotta get on them. This is a shop that doesn't do yo-yos. The other shops that do yo-yos are pretty good with just boom, 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 just kind of, this where we're at, this where we're at. Operation 1's done, Operation 2's done. You want these shipped to you or one of your anodizers. It doesn't quite work that way with this place. Just the way their shop is set up, it didn't really, it's just, it's not as smooth running for a yo-yo operator. But anyways, I'm on the phone with him. I'm talking about, where's these elites? Where are these elites? Come on, man. I'm waiting on this. And he's saying, oh, we're getting to them. You know, I can only fit you in between my regular orders. Okay. Whatever. And I started asking him questions because each shop is different. And I want to know how small of a radius or radii or a groove, basically, how small of the groove can I go? Because each shop has a different size. Sometimes I'll send it through and they'll take a look at the CAD and they'll be like, hey, everything looks good except for this. Can we change this and make this much bigger for the machining? Okay, you know, usually most of the time it's no problem. But I'm talking to him, how small can you guys go? And he's like, oh, he tells me whatever size, and he's like, oh, what were you thinking about doing? And I tell him, well, you know those elites you're making, and around the spike, there's that groove. I've got an idea, and I want to go as small as you possibly can. So that's why I was asking you. And that's kind of where the conversation ended, and we went down a different path. But he thought I meant on the elites he was getting ready to machine, make that groove as small as possible. And that was not the case. I had a different project I wanted to work on with grooves as small as I can make. But you'll see, if you got these, you'll be able to see the difference now, especially now that I pointed it out. It was just one of those funny things. I opened it up and I'm like, what is this? Why are these different? And I didn't notice right away. I couldn't figure out what was different. I'm like, oh, the spike's pretty sharp on these. I don't know if they're that sharp on the last run, but that's okay. It does the job. It doesn't affect play at all unless you're trying to grab them. What is different about these? And eventually, I figured out it was the groove around the spike. The groove around the spike was not as big. And called him up, talked to him. He's like, yeah, you said you wanted to go as small as I possibly could. That's as small as I can go. Isn't it awesome? And I was like, no. I've got a different project for that. I wanted these to be the regular CAD like the last run. I don't want little changes between runs. But anyways, it's just a funny little story that happens behind the scenes. Unfortunately, he's very busy. He just signed a contract, so it's going to be a while until he can get back to me. He signed a pretty big contract with someone. I think he was locked up for 6 months last time we talked. But that's just I don't know. It's Storytime Friday, okay? Have a wonderful weekend.